Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Crochet Rainbows and Butterflies. Today we are going to learn how to crochet this mug rug coaster. This is a real pretty project and it doesn't take a lot of time to work on. Now before we go ahead, I would like to remind you to subscribe to my channel to never miss a crochet tutorial video. Now for this project, I have used crochet hook 3mm. You can use any crochet yarn for this project, but I have used 4-ply crochet yarn. So let's get started. We begin with a slip knot, and after you have your slip knot, you need to work chain 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now we have our chain 18. Now what you need to do is you need to hold on to your last stitch here. Hold on to it. Chain 2, 1, 2. And now you need to work one single crochet in the stitch that you held on to right here. So that's your first single crochet. Now you work one single crochet in the next stitch, 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 and you need to continue working one single crochet in each stitch of this row till you reach the end of your row. Now once you finish your row, you need to turn your work, and now we're going to go ahead and start the next row. Now to do that, you can chain 2 for your first double crochet, or you can work with this method that I'm going to show you. So for that you need to work one single crochet into the first stitch right here, now if you can see, we have 2 loops, 1 and 2. Now what you need to do is you need to insert this hook in the second hook loop right here, and you work your second single crochet. Now this will give you the length of your double crochet. You can work your beginning of each row like this, or you can chain 2 and start with your row. So now after you've done this, you need to work one double crochet in the same stitch. And now you need to skip 2 stitches and you work 3 double crochet in the third stitch. So you skip 2 stitches. This is the first one, second one, and in the third stitch you work 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. Now again you need to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in the third stitch you work 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2 and 3. Again you skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in the third stitch you work 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. Again skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, in the third one you work 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. Now again skip 2 stitches, 1 2. In the third one you work 3 double crochets, 1 2 and 3. Now you are left with 3 stitches. You skip 2 stitches, 1 2, and in the last stitch you work 2 double crochets. That's 1, and this is the second one. So now for this row we started with 2 double crochets and we end with 2 double crochet. Now this is the first row of double crochets that we started. Now the next row we will start with 1 double crochet and end with 1 double crochet, and this pattern is a repeat of these 2 rows. The first row with 2 double crochets, the next row with 1 double crochet, then you repeat the pattern. 2 double crochets, the row begins with, the next row begins with 1 double crochet. So now we're going to go ahead and start the next row. Now for that you turn your work, and again you can start your row with chaining 2, but I'm going to work the single crochets. So you go ahead and work 1 single crochet in your first stitch right here. Now you can see your 2 loops, 1 and 2. In the second loop you insert your hook and you work your single crochet. I like using this method because it gives the project a little straighter look at the edges. So now we finished our first single crochet, so this is counted as your first double crochet. We are going to do just 1 here. Now in the space of your previous row you work 3 double crochets. So that's 1 2 and 3. Now we go directly to this next space right here. Now in this space you need to work 3 double crochets, 1 2 and 3. Now again in the next space you need to work 3 double crochets, 1 2 and 3, and you need to continue working 3 double crochets in each space of this row. So 3 double crochets right here, 3 double crochets and 3 double crochets. Continue working this pattern for the rest of your row. Now once you've completed working your double crochets in the spaces, we need to go ahead and work 1 double crochet in the last stitch of this row right here. So now this row we started with a double crochet and we end with 1 double crochet. Now the next row is a repeat of the first row. So we start with 2 double crochets and we will end with 2 double crochets. So this pattern is a repeat of these 2 rows, the first row and the second row. So now you need to go ahead and turn your work, and you work 1 single crochet in the first stitch right here and 1 single crochet in this second loop right here. Now you work your double crochet in the same stitch. So now this is counted as your 2 double crochets. So this is the first one and this is the second one. Now in the next space you work 3 double crochets. So right here in this space you work 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2 and 3. Now again in the next space 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. In the next space 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. Now 3 double crochets in the next space, 1, 2 and 3. Now again 3 double crochets in the next space, 1, 2 and 3. And now in the last stitch right here you need to work 2 double crochets. So that's 1 and the second one in the same stitch, 2. So this row you start with 2 double crochets and you end with 2 double crochets. Now again the next row we start with 1 double crochet like we've done here. So the first row we start with 2 double crochets, second row with 1 double crochet, third row with 2, the next row with 1, and this is going to be a repeat of your first 2 rows. So now you need to turn your work. You work 1 single crochet in the same stitch, 1 single crochet in this loop right here, and in this space you need to go ahead and work 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. In the next space you work 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. And you need to continue doing this for the rest of this row. You work 3 double crochets in each space of this row and you need to end this row with 1 double crochet. Now the next row you start with 2 double crochets and you need to keep repeating this pattern, repeating these 2 rows till you have 12 rows in total. So counting the first one, you need to have 12 rows in total for this project. I've completed my 12 rows. Now you need to chain 1, turn your work, and you work 1 single crochet in the same stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and you need to continue working 1 single crochet in each stitch of this row till you reach the end of your row. After you complete your row, you need to chain 1, and then you can go ahead and cut your yarn. And now we are going to work the white yarn on top of this. So we are going to start with the slip knot. And we are going to go ahead and attach it right here. So this is where we start our work, the first row, and we had started with our 2 double crochets here. So right into this stitch, in between the 2 double crochets, like this, you need to go ahead and attach your yarn. And now you chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you need to work a slip stitch in these one of these double crochets, single crochets, I'm sorry. You have 2 stitches here, 1 and 2. You need to work a slip stitch in one of these stitches. Any one would do. So you work a slip stitch. Right here. Now you chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you need to work a slip stitch in this stitch. So you have your 3 double crochets here, 1, 2 and 3. In the center stitch you need to work a slip stitch. Now you chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and you work a slip stitch here in one of these stitches. So we are working in this last row. We started here, you chain 3, work a slip stitch in one of these stitches, then you chain 3, you work a slip stitch on top in the center double crochet that you have, then you chain 3, you work a slip stitch right here, you chain 3, work a slip stitch in the center double crochet right on top, you chain 3, work a slip stitch in one of these stitches, chain 3, work a slip stitch in the center stitch right on top. So you keep going in this zigzag manner right up till here. So now we are going to work a slip stitch in one of these stitches here. Right here. Now again you chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you work a slip stitch in the center double crochet. Now again you chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you work a slip stitch in one of these stitches. Now you chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you work a slip stitch in your center double crochet. You have 3, 1, 2, 3, right in between there. You work a slip stitch. Again chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now you need to go ahead and work a slip stitch in one of these stitches. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, a slip stitch right here in the center double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, again you work a slip stitch in one of these stitches, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we have the last one, the last 3 double crochets here. You work a slip stitch in the center, now again you chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you work your slip stitch in this space here in one of these stitches right here. Now you chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you work a slip stitch right here. you have your last 2 double crochets. In between them you work your slip stitch. Now you chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3. Now we are going to work in this row, which is right on top. So after you chain 3, you're going to work your slip stitch in the center of these 3 stitches. So you have your chain 3, you're going to work your slip stitch here. Then you chain 3, you work your slip stitch under these 2 stitches. Then again you chain 3, you work your slip stitch here. You chain 3, you work your slip stitch under these 2 stitches. Chain 3, you work your slip stitch right here in the center stitch. Chain 3, you work your slip stitch under these 2 stitches, and you keep going in this manner till you reach right up till here. So we are starting with this one. We chain 3 right here. Now we are going to work our slip stitch right on this spot. So I'm turning my work, and we are going to work a slip stitch like this. Right here in the center double crochet. Now you chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you need to go under this first stitch, under the second stitch, and you work your slip stitch right here. Now you chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now again you work a slip stitch in the center double crochet. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you work your slip stitch under your chain. So this is the first one, the first stitch. This is the second one, and you need to work your slip stitch right here. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You work a slip stitch in the next double crochets that you have here, right in the between one, the center one. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You go under your first chain here, under the second one, and you work a slip stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Again you work a slip stitch in the center double crochet right here. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You work a slip stitch under your chain, the first one, the second one, and you need to go ahead and work a slip stitch. Again chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You need to work a slip stitch in between this 3 double crochets right here. So this is the same pattern for the entire row. Again chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You work a slip stitch under the chain. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We've reached the last 3 double crochets. In the center double crochet you work a slip stitch, you chain 3, and now we've reached the stitch where we started our white yarn right here. Now you go into the first stitch, you work your slip stitch right there, you chain 1, and then you can go ahead and cut your yarn. So this is what you have. Now we're going to go ahead and work the same pattern on the opposite side. So you need to turn your work around. Now on this side we're going to start right here where we have our double crochet, one single double crochet. We're going to start right here, and then you need to chain 3. You need to come here and work a slip stitch in the center double crochet right here. Then you chain 3. You need to go up here. You need to work a slip stitch in the center double crochet right here. Then you chain 3. You come right here. You work a slip stitch in this stitch, which is the center double crochet right here. Again you chain 3. You work a slip stitch here. Chain 3. Work a slip stitch right here. Chain 3. Work a slip stitch right here. And we're going to keep going on till the end of the row. So we start on the double crochet. You need to join your yarn. I'm going ahead and joining the white yarn with the help of a slip knot. So you go into your double crochet like this, and you work your first stitch. Now you chain 3, 3 chains. Okay, now you need to work a slip stitch right here. So we started here on the double crochet. You work a slip stitch in the center double crochet. You have 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. In the center one, you work a slip stitch. Now you chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You go ahead and work a slip stitch right here on top. You have your double crochets. We worked a slip stitch on this double crochet. Now we are going to work a slip stitch on this double crochet. On the top cluster of double crochets, in the center stitch, we're going to work a slip stitch. So you need to go ahead and work a slip stitch right here. Then you chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then again you come down and work a slip stitch in the center double crochet right here. Then you chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and again you work on the top cluster. In the center double crochet you work a slip stitch. So we are going in this manner. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You work a slip stitch here in the center double crochet. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Again on the top cluster, right in the center, you work a slip stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you need to come down again right here in the center. You work 1 double crochet. You work a slip stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Again on the top cluster, you work a slip stitch in the center. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you need to come down again in the center. You work a slip stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you work a slip stitch on the top cluster right here in the center. 1, 2, 3, and you come down again right here you work a slip stitch. Now you chain 3 again, 2, 3. Now we are at the end of this row. If you can see, we started here, we went chain 3, slip stitch, chain 3, slip stitch, chain 3, slip stitch. We kept going on, and now we are at the end. So after you slip stitch in the double crochet, you need to go ahead and work your slip stitch in your last double crochet here. We started with this double crochet, your single double crochet at the end, and we need to go ahead and work a slip stitch in your last double crochet like this. Now we are going to chain 3, and we will be working on these double crochets now, not these, on these double crochets. So we will chain 3 and you work a slip stitch in the center of this double crochet right here. Then you chain 3, you will work a slip stitch under your chain like we've done earlier. Then you chain 3, you work a slip stitch right here, chain 3, slip stitch, chain 3, slip stitch, chain 3, slip stitch, and you keep going on in this manner till you reach right up till here. So now we have worked our slip stitch in our double crochet, the last double crochet. Now you need to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and I will work my slip stitch on this stitch right here. In the center double crochet, you work a slip stitch, and again you chain 3, 2, 3, and you need to go under your chain, both the chains, and you work your slip stitch. Again you chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You need to go right here in the center double crochet, and you work your slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you need to go under both the chains, you work your slip stitch, chain 3, 2, 3. Again you go in the center double crochet right here, slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You go under both your chains, you chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you need to continue doing this till you reach right up till here. Now after you complete the last chain 3, you need to go into the first stitch that we started right here. You work a slip stitch there, you chain 1 and cut your yarn. Now we need to go ahead and add the fringes to it. So for that, you need to cut your yarn. You can cut it however long you need. Now you need to hold your yarn like this. And go into the first stitch right here. and pull out your yarn through that. Now you enter your hook into that loop and you need to pull all your loose ends through the loop. Like this. And then you pull your ends like this. Now you need to go ahead and keep adding the loops, your fringe loops in each stitch. You can add it in every stitch, or you can add it in one stitch, leave one and then add another one here. That depends on however you want to add them. We've completed the tutorial. Now all you need to do is the loose ends that you had here, you need to pull it through and work in your ends. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching and happy crocheting.